Doom da doom. Okay, we're just getting ready to stream here. Recording What's Up Dave for Monday, January 15, 2018. And what am I going to do today? There were three things, if I recall. We're setting up the stream. I should make a streaming setup starting point. I wanted to do stream. Oh, it's MLK Day. Happy MLK Day. Is it really a day to be happy? A day of reflection about people and how they connect and disconnect. That's on my mind today. We're going to look at the productivity plan, funding system review, progress so far, and also project management system assembly. So this will be a long stream. So hey, what's up? This is Dave. This is What's Up Dave. This is my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet, which means if you're watching, you're my friend now too. And what I try to do here is just convey a sense that there's someone out there working on stuff who is interested in things that you might be interested in too. But if you're not, that's fine. Go find someone else who's doing something cool. I'm just trying to add to the community bonhomie. So, what am I doing today? If you're not familiar with what I've been doing lately, I've been trying to design a new personal productivity system to supplement or replace the emergent task planner. Usually I use the emergent task planner or a form variant of it to set my goals for the day on a daily and weekly tracking basis. There's no weekly version of it, but it's the sort of thing that I do every day just to see what I'm accomplishing. And so this new productivity system is designed to be even less tracky in that I think what really matters to me as a independent creative person that's working solo is just to see how many things that I put in this bucket of good stuff every day. And that may be all I need. And I think you do need project management for projects when you're working with other people. You had to communicate, and if you had to coordinate your efforts, that's when you need project management. But if you're working on your own projects, especially ones that don't have a specific deadline, project management ends up being unnecessary overhead, unless someone else is doing it for you. Then the idea is to be able to focus purely on what it is that you need to do, and not worry if I'm doing it fast enough, is this going to be good, is it going to be on time, is it going to be expensive? All those thoughts take you away from the act of doing. So if there's a way I can build a system that allows me to be more creative, I'm all for that. Because personally, as much as I kind of like project management and project tracking stuff, but I can't do both that and be creative at the same time, or at least not very effectively. And I certainly don't want to do it myself or my own projects. This is something that I just recently realized. So with that, let me just make a list over here on the side. The chat room here. That's a weird view. Zoop. This is so weird looking. Oh, I see. Alright. So I moved the computer desk back on this side of the room because the cat likes it better when I'm over here, and if I put it on the other side of the room, this computer cart that I'm using looms over the cat's litter box, and I think that makes him not want to use it, and that he's been pooping outside of it. And it's been very unpleasant, to say the least. Let me move this camera over here. But since I move things around, everything seems subtly wrong. But anyway, let me put this in the chat room. Recording What's Up. Oops. What's Up, Dave? What I'm going to go over, going over the progress so far in the productivity. Let's call this a solo creative productivity system design. After that, we'll set up a new project management system for everything. I'm between management systems right now. I used to use a combination of Basecamp Classic and Trello. And for the past projects I've been working on with other people, we've been using a mix of Trello, and we've tried some other software. I haven't been the project manager for those other projects, but for this current project, I said that I would take on the initial project management organization role just to mix things up a little bit. And if it sucks, then the other project manager will go back to doing that. But he's busy with other projects, so I thought I could take this on. I'm kind of in the mode for it too. I still have this ridiculous cough. It's very annoying. It's been like over 2 weeks now. I must have eaten like 300 of these cough drop things. I'm sure that's not good for your spleen or whatever organ is affected by cough drops. Certainly it doesn't seem to be my lungs. Oh, you can see the cat is over here. Oops. Let me go down a little bit. And then move the camera a little bit over here. You can see that annoying cat. Cat. Oh, he knows I'm looking onto him. Now it's a dangerous time. All right, let's set this up. I seem to be on Hawaii time again, so my goals for today are to get these two things I've listed down, the productivity system, project management system, and then also go to the gym around 9 o'clock and try to tire myself out pretty well by 11 so I fall asleep and wake up early tomorrow. I woke up today around 2 p.m. and there's no real good reason for it other than I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege again, like just in the single player like terrorist hunt mode, which is not like the team 5 versus 5 thing, because that scares me. I was playing with my cousin in California last night, and since he's on West Coast time, like I tend to play games too late when I'm playing with my cousins. So we had a great time. It's been a while since we played games together, but that did a number on my sleep schedule. All right, the overall productivity system. For that, we're going to have to switch to screen view. And here in screen view, we're going to have to look at this document in our public document store for the co-working Discord. And over here is this folder, Project Dave Productivity 2018. There's this document. I wonder if we can print this. This might be worthwhile just to print so I have something to flip through. I don't know. I'm just curious to see what it looks like. Let's see what that is. I've already crunched up my I'll take a look at this. How's this going to lay out? Lots of empty white space. Let's print two, so let's print it single-sided. This way I don't have to flip. Oh, maybe. Can you set a margin on this? Oh, there's a minimum margin setting? I didn't know that. That still looks pretty beefy to me. What does non-meat look like? That's crap. It looks like this is probably why it looks so weird. Oh, I bet this prints just very badly. It's still 14 pages. Can I even print from this? I guess I can. For a moment I thought I was going to print a PDF. Okay, so let's spool this to the printer. And while that's going on, I guess I'll have to force myself to read it. For some reason I hate reading my own stuff again. It's an effort to push myself through it. Goal, replacement, personal productivity system. They turn on the accessibility zoom thing. Let's look into highlight certain things. Zoom, picture-in-picture options, adjust size and locations. Well, an issue since I'm streaming on this secondary monitor. I can't move it. This is acting like crap. Did they break this? Looks like they broke it. How did they even break this? I can't actually drag it. I used to be able to drag it. What is wrong with you assholes? Oh, there we go. No, it's not working. It's broken. They broke this. Oh, you jerks. this is so weird. What? How? Ugh, I'm so angry. I wonder if it's because I plugged this in. Temporary holds, speech, size, and location. It's locked on this primary monitor now. That does me no good. Thanks, Apple. This is what you get when they dismantle their software engineering department. I guess we're not going to be able to zoom in on things anymore, unless this is just some Mac OS BS that's going on. So anyway, let me check something first here. I'm going to get a separate note thing. I guess it'll work. This will be a side thing. I just want to have like a note area. This is actually for the project management stuff. Can I make a second note? Let's just do that. So what I'm going to do is on the side thing, I'm going to make a list of stuff that I see in here that's useful. So let me say what the goal is. Goal for now, let's set like a 15-minute timer just for pacing purposes. So it's going now. Put this over here. Oh, I'm out of coffee. The whole world's falling apart. Let's find a better camera angle for this. Okay, at least that's out of my face. What is the goal? The goal is personal productivity. And actually at the end of it I had written some stuff. Maybe just skipping all the way to the end is I had made a very short list of it. Or I guess I thought it was short. Day 6, it's a project management, but let's say what the goals are for this. Okay, the goals for, let's see, making when it comes to doing personal projects of an explorative nature, that are primarily explorative or learning. Grammatically, that's terrible grammar, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just trying to grab the right parts of thought. When it comes to do personal, prior explorative learning, it's I find that thinking with the manager's hat is distracting from the actual making of things. There's a reference to an essay of this. This was the manager versus creator mindset. The creator mindset. Do you have a manager's mindset? Creator or Vic? No, this. Who wrote this? It was that begins with S. Clay Shirky, was it? Was that his name? Hierarchy. I think this is the guy I'm thinking of. That's not Clay Shirky's site. Clay Shirky manager. Site, say, like, I think I wrote something about this once. I can't find my own stuff. This is very irritating. Also, I'm using DuckDuckGo, which is nice in that it doesn't do some of the Google BS, but it's not as good of a search engine. Maybe should. Didn't worry about him, huh? Maybe it's the other guy. Who's the other guy? Who's the Y Combinator guy? Founder. Is that not Clay Shirky? Paul Graham. That was who I was thinking of. Paul Graham, or Manager mindset. Maker schedule, manager schedule, maker versus manager. No. Anyway. I don't think I read this one. This is still insightful though. Anyway. I'll just put Paul Graham here. So the maker versus manager mindset. So let me rephrase this. What is it that I want to say about personal productivity systems? Managing a process is not the same as using the process. Making tangible, useful, beautiful artifacts comes from the application of a process. That may be under development. This is enough of a challenge that trying to manage that process at the same time creates a conflict. Grammatically, that's not coming out well, but it's a little bit better than what I had before. So here I'm trying to write what the purpose of this personal productivity system is after this week or so of thinking about how it should work. And this is my own, also for my own desires. I want my version of productivity to be measured by what beautiful and useful tools, I'll just say things. I'll keep trying to avoid the word things because that's my filler word, and it just sounds dumb. I want to think of the right specific thing, but I keep only coming up with thing. I could like try to be all fancy, say beautiful productivity tools, but that's not what it really is the thing of it, the thinginess of it. Thing as a substitute for any class of object, any experience. Okay, let's say objects and experiences, but now I'm using two ands. I could put just with a comma, objects and or beautiful. I could do this. Grammatically, I'm not sure what the style guides would say about that. I want my version of productivity to be about what beautiful objects, plus useful objects and experiences I make. However, I want to do this every day, and I want to measure my success by what I make every day. I find that trying to control this process, or to control the processes that go into that control or track, control/track processes to be a distraction. Because when control, track, is really control or measure, assess the success of, what am I trying to say? It's not so much tracking or controlling, it's trying to manage it. It's trying to optimize or manage my creative process. Has the unfortunate side effect of distracting me from creativity itself. It's a different mindset. It's not conducive. It's not good to have this in the same mind at the same time. Different mindset. You can't try to make something beautiful on a schedule. Oh, so you can't make a new something from scratch. That's beautiful on a strict timetable, unless you've already made something original and beautiful on a on a timetable, unless you've already figured it, unless you're applying a process that you've already figured out, really learned or figure out. It's like the first time I made my first Thanksgiving dinner all by myself. It took 12 hours. I had no idea what I was doing. And and for even something like that, you have recipes, you have other people giving you advice and stuff like that. So that still took me 12 hours because, you know, I didn't have all my stuff together. I think we ended up eating at like 1 a.m. the first time. Maybe it wasn't. Well, it just took a long time. Woke up, and didn't wake up early enough. I didn't know how to prepare the turkey. I didn't know how to carve it. I didn't know what like done turkey looked like. Now I have the process down, like, you know, so I can make them. You know, Thanksgiving dinners are pretty easy now. I didn't know how to cook a sweet potato. The first time I made them, they came out these hard rocks that had turned green for some reason. They oxidized, I think. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe it was the water in Worcester at the time. But anyway, you can't make something on this timetable. For making something new requires time. Requires requires space and time in plentiful amounts, free of the distraction of someone telling you to hurry up or ask you why it's not done yet. That's the manager mindset. That's all they do. Well, a good manager will be supportive of this process and be able to figure out ways of carving out useful elements that can be used to build things. The best thing that a manager can do is, you know, unless, well, they would have to put together an incremental system to control. So, like, you're building 10% of a new system instead of like 100% of a new system. But I digress. Done. That just slows down the process, especially if you are creator and manager at the same time. The new productivity system is designed to, well, design goals, because I don't know if this works yet. The new productivity system design goals are for, that's weird. Can I put the camera over here? This will look a little more natural. Oh. I was just noticing that I was looking at the side over here and just seeing my cheek. The new productivity system design goal is to one, encourage not quite, encouraged me to make a beautiful, full, plus useful object or experience every day. And two, track so if I'm collecting a whole bunch of these the beautiful, useful objects, experiences every day, I want to be able to track that collection of things, because watching the collection grow is what is the productive part. That's the productive measure. So a productive measure is to count the objects, experiences made as proof, or is it proof? Let's call it proof of productivity. Without explicit task management or time management. Those are the design goals. R1, every day. 2, what's that? No, that's 15 minutes. Let's go for another 15 minutes. So these are the three three design goals for this system. There's actually a fourth one. Collect the objects, experiences into curated collections, or let's call this, instead of collect, assemble the curated collections for public consumption. So that's what this productivity system should do. Let's see. Into accessible. That's the productivity system goals. So let me go downstairs and see if that printout is done yet. It probably should be done. So I can flip through the rest of it. Ugh. What smells funny? Okay, oh, let's kick a bunch of stuff off onto the floor. Looks like it. Is this all of it? This doesn't look right. There's no page numbers on it. No, maybe this is right. This is 7 pages. 7 pieces of paper, 14 pages. Alright. So I got these papers. Let me use my fancy Japanese stapleless stapler. Put this together. Yeah. You ever see one of these? So what this does, if you haven't seen this before in the stream, is you slide it in there. This may be too many pieces of paper. I think it is, or it's not going in. Too thick? It is too thick. Oh, let's wedge it in. Hopefully it works. Yeah. So what it does is it crimps. I don't know if it's going to show up. You can see this like a crimped edge here. And so that crimping holds all the sheets together. So now that I've printed this thing out, I'm just noticing how ugly it is. And now I'm beginning unhappy. So what do I want to do? So I wrote down what the system was in the screen thing in the up on the right side of the screen there. Kiddly says, they use a stapleless stapler at the hippie store. Where's the hippie store? I want to go to the hippie store and see what they have. Theirs is different. It punches a hole in. Yeah, oh yeah, that's the other kind of stapler. I used to have one of those. That was designed in the 1920s. It's a there's a name for this type of hook. I think it was invented in the United States in the 1800s or something like that. Yeah, this one's much. I like this style better. The other one you can staple like more, or you can bind more pieces of paper together. But this just looks cool. I just like this. Where's the hippie store though? I want to know where the hippie store is. What else do they have at the hippie store? What's the name of the hippie store? So anyway, let me look through this. I had metrics. I had null solutions. All this stuff I put into my statement here for the system goals. Then these forks of opportunities, I think, just are implicit. This comes after the step of assembling into collections. Once you have a collection of beautiful, useful objects you've made, you've got a body of work, and since they're tangible and you can show them to people, you're ready to do something with them. And that becomes the basis of making connections and opportunities. That's the thing with when you're trying to make something happen. It helps really if you have something to show. Something that people can react to. It's much easier for people to react to something you show to them than it is if you ask them what they want. If you ask them what they want, most people don't have any idea what they want, unless it's something they've seen before. So if you are trying to create a new opportunity for yourself, have something to show to them, even if it kind of sucks, you know? At least it shows that you're trying to make something. And you may not get the recognition you may want if you're doing it for status, but you may get some good ideas, or you may get some pointers from people. Like yesterday, I was at the Asian supermarket, and like this person I know through the owner, like it was talking about making some kind of fermented rice wine. And apparently, it's similar to making kimchi. You get rice mulch, and you stick it in an earthen jar, and you bury it in the ground, and it ferments. It turns out this milky alcohol. And like I had never heard of it before, and Joy, the owner, had never heard of it before. But Joy mentioned that like her dad, like she's from Thailand, her dad makes a very similar beverage, a very Thai beverage, and that she had a really good recipe from her grandfather that described the whole process for it, and which is something that Dave, the other Dave, was fascinated by. So just by putting out those kind of stories, and especially if you had something to share. Anyway, I digress. Process, knowledge chunks. This is, I know I summarized this later. So these are just like notes I had taken on like what goes into the personal productivity system. It was kind of outlining, brainstorming the kind of elements that I thought were important to me. The key one is like it's tangible. It's something that you can show to people, and that you do show it to someone, and that is the foundation for making any kind of change. It does no good if it's just sitting on your hard drive someplace, or it's just an idea floating in your head. You gotta make it tangible. You need to show it to somebody. That's how you make connections with people. If you want to be among people who are more than consumers, you need to be someone who's producing things, and that's where I want to be. So all these things here, the considering, project management, that was describing how that was different. The common elements, though, is having a repository for keeping what was made for the day, and then a project log. Okay, so this is the stuff I want to copy some stuff down from. So let me look back at the online document, because it's a little bit easier to go through. This I'll just put on the side for. I don't know why I printed this out now. Sometimes I find that working on things that are more just in a different medium, a different form. So for example, if I'm working on stuff that's if I'm mostly working on the computer and thinking on the computer, if I move to paper, I will think differently. Or if I'm walking outside, I'll think differently. And those different interactions, those different environments will sometimes unlock things. Like trying to draw a solution instead of type it out, or when you're doing code, instead of making code, you're trying to assemble it with blocks, like wooden blocks, just as a way of like showing relationships. It taps different parts of your brain, different processing models, and they can produce different results which can get you unstuck a lot of the time. So I'm gonna look up what this hippie store is. Let me just type I love the idea of a hippie store. How come I can't type anything? Love the idea of a hippie store. And at least I think I do. So let's see. Let me type in the essential elements here for the system design. What time is it? It's 5 p.m. already. Ugh. I really just started work at 3 p.m., 4 p.m. It's already dark outside too, yeah. Depressing. So why is that shining so much? Let's drop the light level. So now it's shining my face. Great. All right. You know what? I think I'll just put this in an Illustrator document for now, just to shift again where I am thinking. I hope audio is working. I haven't even checked that. Yeah. I forgot to turn that. I'm sure it's working. Yeah, it's working. Good. It's not called the hippie store? What's it called? What store would be the hippie store? I can't even think of what the hippie store would be called. Or what actual store is the hippie store that would actually have staplers in it. I don't even know what hippies buy. Kombucha? Juice? Used clothing? Sandals? Sorry if I'm offending all you actual hippies out there. Maybe I'll wear like a curated, maybe hippies are like yuppies now. And they have like the favorite brands. What's the big hippie brand? Where do hippies go buy their shoes from? Do they make them out of cardboard? No, nowadays it's posh. I'm fascinated by this. Hippies are posh now? Anything in bamboo? Oh, I have a bamboo cutting board. Does that count? Okay, I'm going to write down some of this stuff over here. Flip over from this. Bamboo or hippies? What are some of their bamboo things? Do I even know hippies? I know people who make their own mead. That sounds vaguely hippie-ish. But they also hunt for their own venison too. So it just might be practical. If you're gonna hunt your own venison, maybe you need to make your own mead to go with it. Because otherwise, you're not a real hunter. So here, let's see, the repository. I guess I can make some rules here. Some new productivity rules. Rules of the system. I guess you're making something every day. Make something, or I know there are classes. What counts, let's try that. What counts as beautiful or useful? Or actually, I'm not even going to measure that. There's stages or levels of beautiful plus useful, tangible output products. One of them is a finished object or experience. Example, software, something made of wood, a material, an article, that is ready for consumption by others, and then a supporting process or piece of knowledge that is complete in itself, fixed into a tangible form, e.g. a text file, a journal entry with an address that can be put into an index file. So you can find it. So those are the two kinds of things. Either of these are something that can go into the bucket of things that were made. So now we have the components of the system. That is, and this is where I wrote all this stuff here. There's a repository, one or more repositories that are suitable for containing the consumer-ready. There's another 15 minutes gone by. Object experience and delivering it. And there's a project, a daily project log. The repository. There's not enough mead in the world. You know, I don't drink much mead. There's so much. There are so many kinds of alcoholic beverages, and I know nothing about them. And I'm always afraid of buying something that's going to suck, and I'll lose $20 or something like that. I don't want to spend $9 on terrible mead. How do you even know? You just ask people. I should just ask on Facebook what's some good local mead I can get. Maybe people will give me some from their personal stash. That would be fun. The repository must be indexable. Indexed, so I can find things in it easily. A daily project log that notes what was made, on what day, the type of project, the level of product made, and where to find it in the repository. What else do I need? Actually, that's it, isn't it? Do I need so the project log, I think, is the form that I'm making. This is the basic system. The extended system takes what's in the repository and repackages them into other, or let's say more upscale, more object. Yeah, Kid Lee says, that's just it. There's so little selection of mead where I am that what one gets usually sucks. What makes a good mead? Is it taste, is it more sweet, like a kind of a juice, or is it more alcoholic? Is there like a similar beverage? My favorite like alcoholic beverage right now, just because I don't know very much, is Scotch. Single malt Islay Scotches. But the amount I drink is like, I have like, you know, like a quarter finger worth of Scotch is enough to last me 2 hours. Because I just like smelling it. And just tasting it a little bit with a little bit of water. And I'm not like a diehard Scotch drinker, so, or whiskey enthusiast. I just like the way it smells and how it starts smelling one way and then it kind of changes, and then over 10 or 20 seconds it sort of ends in a different place where it started. It's kind of a contemplative drink for me. Let's see, new project log extended system takes what repackaging into more of the different into what's the difference between the difference between what goes directly in the repository is that it's really more process focused, whereas the extended system, this is producing, let me describe what it is, produces products, is a refactored, creates refactored versions of what's in the repository, targeted toward a specific audience. This is more market and marketing oriented thinking. Once the making of things has been done. This is not so much an extension, this is the follow-up. It's a system that's driven. Maybe I should just really. After you've collected, or after I've collected, a number of tangible, beautiful, or useful, objects, experiences, processes, then this is something, these can be considered assets from which products can be assembled. This is let's call these refined products. Maybe these are raw repositories. For a specific audience / market. So we won't talk about that now. All right, so this is what I'm thinking about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. Let me add this to the end of this document. This is what day was Monday, January 15, 2018. This is our system definition, task 1. But I'm also going to paste this into an InDesign document, not InDesign, an Illustrator document. Because this is going to be the basis of creating some sort of form. Let's see, text tool, and that's that. Nova bold condensed regular. So I'll just keep this on the side here so I have something to refer to as I am making it. Why is this? Did I not choose? Oh, this is the retarded interface. So here, it clearly looks like it's a portrait style thing, but actually you had to go over here and switch it. Annoying. Terrible UX. I guess it's acceptable, but it's still angry. Angry, but I can fix it here, I think. Artboard, yeah. Anger, irritation averted. Still. So I have this now. I just want this here. And so all these elements that are here will eventually go into this form. I guess I should leave this up here because I need to remember what the goal is. Oh, Kittley says, I don't know much about alcohol. I just know that one Christmas the liquor store had a mead that tasted good, and ever since it's had another one tasted bad, at least when I've checked. I should go to the liquor store today and just see if I can get us some mead. How do you even, what even goes with mead? Roasted chicken? Hippies? Let's see. What goes with mead? What foods go with mead? From pollen angels. That sounds like suspicious. Well, that would be a honey thing. Probably a honey person that leaves pollen in there because of its alleged allergy warding properties. Dry meads taste good with cheese. Dry means what? Not sweet? Hopped scissors. What is that? Fruit meads with matching desserts. Not sparkling mead? That sounds good. I guess I'll just have to buy some and try it. See if I can get some friends over and see like if they want to have a mead in. I know a couple people who make this stuff. I could just ask. Anyway. Alright, so that's today's progress on the personal productivity system. Let me just save this document somewhere where I can resume it. And then I think the next step is actually to make the repository. And I'll go into the next part of this session. Excuse me. Right now, where am I going to put it? Let's put it on the desktop right now. And because that's where we'll build our project management system. Personal Productivity System 2018 raw design DRO1. I'll just give it a temporary code name. Alright, so here I have this absolutely nothing document, but it's a placeholder file. So the next step is to build the system. We'll build a repository and the index. Build the repository and the index. I don't really know what that means yet. I had made a list that was considering the kinds of things that I was making. So maybe I need to look at that. So if I look at what's accruable, what is tangible, superlative, is package ready to go, ready to use, and use as a resource, I think I listed types of resources. Logging. I don't think I really solved this problem. What I'm counting on, which is I didn't write down, is I have an intuitive sense of what is a complete process. A complete process could be something like, this is a small recipe for installing a virtual machine on a computer. Or this is how you back up a database using MySQL dump. Or this is how you make an instrument quality finish using this brand of oil and this type of wood and this type of sandpaper. Or it's a log entry that highlights the superlative aspects of it. So actually, something I just thought of was that in addition to the index and the repository, there needs to be the continuity log. So we need to add that, a continuity, for me anyway, a continuity journal that helps me remember where I left off. And when this project log, this is the project is the wrong term. Project doesn't imply that it's complete. Completed object experience log. off and tracks decisions that I make. There might be a continuity journal for each project I'm working on. Ideally, there is a way of both seeing what I worked on every day to see the pattern of where my attention went, and a way of seeing just the relevant effort for a specific project went. This might also be a more detailed, well, journal, and what goes into the completed object experience log is a summary of the good stuff at the end of the day. We have a repository, a journal, and an index. These all fit into the process. Okay, so I need to update this part into that document I just made. Oh, that's right, this doesn't work with Adobe apps. Oh, I need a cough drop. Maybe I need some tea too. I wish I had a camera that I could just walk around attached to my face. That'd be kind of funny. All right, I'll just add it to the bottom part of this. I think it was like. I just crunched this candy again. There's a cough drop. Alright. I'm gonna go make some tea. And as I'm making tea, I'll be thinking about what this continuity, what these tools are going to actually physically look like. You can see the tea station now behind me. Go split view. All right, so I'm just going to talk out loud while I'm doing this. So I've defined 3-ish elements. There's the idea of a repository, which contains finished, packaged, ready to share, ready to deploy work. This can be digital, this could be physical, it could be a web service, it could be a file folder. It just has to be findable and linkable. So it has to have, I guess some of them could be private if they're personal projects, but I need to be able to discover them. So there's the private repositories in which these things are made. I think they need codes, job codes or project codes as well, but I'll get worried about that later. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a cup. Then there is the continuity journal, in which I'm writing what I'm working on and what I'm thinking. And this is me, kind of what I'm doing now with this stream. I'm thinking out loud, I'm making notes, I'm pondering, and the point of this pondering is to come to a conclusion of what it is I'm trying to make. Either trying to define it with greater precision, to identify what the critical objects are and how they connect to each other. Also gonna make some coffee. So that's the continuity journal. It's really capturing my thoughts. And then there is the index, which I guess is the real form aspect of things. And not the index, the what got done log, essentially, which is a distillation of what was achieved for that day. And really these are the essence, that really is the essence of project management. I mean, really, what are you making that can be used? And on the outside of this, so like this is the internal and making process, and then once you've made a thing, you can shift mental mindsets and go into the packaging mode. So let's say like I've developed, like right now I'm doing the internal version of this form. This is intended for anyone to use except for me. But once I have this in some kind of shape where I can explain it, it's done. There's a set of instructions I make for it. Now we're transitioning it from the internal work into the outside, something that's ready to be consumed by anyone else. So there's a different repository for that. That's my website. That's any other way I can think of distributing it, basically. And that becomes something that is, I guess more, well, that's what creates the opportunities. That's where the money is, in other words. Oh, I just screwed this up. 1, 2, 3. I'm using an AeroPress here. And I'm doing the stirring, but I filled it too much with water. I brew using the inverted method. So there's 2 ways you can use an AeroPress. One of them is you have the thing with the plunger on the top, but I'm doing the inverted method so I can actually stir and control the amount of time that the brew is in there. If you do it upside down, the instruction way, then it will continue to drip out of the bottom of the cup. But this way you can control the length of the brewing cycle. That's strange, nothing's fitting right. What's going on with this? Something is wrong. Can't close it. Uh-oh. I don't know what's going on. Probably those. Why can't it? This is so weird. This is getting stronger and stronger. What the hell's going on? I think this sometimes happens when. Oh yeah, because there's actual grounds in here because it bubbled up too much, and so now the track won't fit down and squeeze shut. This is not going to be good coffee. It's gonna plop right out. Ow. Yeah, that was a waste. That was stupid. I just made a giant mess. Guess there is a flaw in this design after all. I just pooped exploded all over my sink. Oh well. Try again. That's what happens if you overfill it. Probably like maybe making coffee and an AeroPress and thinking about design doesn't go hand in hand. That was a huge, I made a huge mistake. Yeah, let's try this again. At least I have plenty of coffee, and I had to use this thing up before it goes stale. All right. So I think the first thing I'll make is try to make the repository. And that could just be a file directory structure. And that fits in well with the project management work, which has a different set of criteria. Coffee's type. Take 2. Fill it halfway instead. Give plenty of room to stir without bubbling over and spilling into the tracks. Yes, much better. I feel like an adult now. Let that steep for a little bit longer. Plunge. Oh wow, this is like resisting a lot more for some reason. Usually I don't plunge it in the kitchen. Oh, there's coffee grounds everywhere. I guess I've given myself a little chore to do tonight. Actually, this came out pretty good. Makes a nice cup of coffee. Let's see if anyone said anything. Nope. Is anyone watching? The reason why I made coffee first. Oh, this is gonna screw up my sleeping schedule, isn't it? I keep thinking it's like 11 a.m., not 5:30. Let's see. Okay. Where am I now? So we're going to just try to make this repository. So what is a repository? What's going to be this digital file thing? And I guess what we'll have to, how am I going to even make this thing? Let me save that file. Let me close this. Right now is on my desktop. So we'll just make a folder here, and we'll call this repository alpha. You know what I should do? I should actually open up Trello. Make sure that there's nothing weird on my Trello board. Trello. I don't want to show up like someone else's. I have to log in for one thing. I'm just logging in. Oh, this is, I use login with Google on this, I think. I don't actually have a separate Google password. So this account, and okay, so now this is for an old project. Let me make a board that's just for Purposeful Productivity System 2018 brainstorm. Alright, so this will be kinds of objects or experiences. So there'll be one list. So let's just start making these. So the kind of things that I'm making right now, I can get an idea from that by just looking at my my current project folders, perhaps, and see how those go. What is it? I thought that was a butt for a moment. Change this background. I don't want a butt on my background. So this will, I can close this. This will go back into the notes section. So So on the side here, let's just open up a file explorer thing. And where are my files? I have everything in Dropbox. I have like the year subscription to that. $99 for, what is it, 100 gigabytes or 1 terabyte now? I forget. I think it might be a terabyte. I'm not anywhere close to that. So I keep everything in one of these project folders. Let's go through the personal one first. This organized a bit different. In this one I have various projects. The names are prepended by the kind of thing it's making. Code or the category of what it is. These are graphic things I've made. I guess, what's this doing here? Oh, these are like, I think these are monetary things. I think it was costing the cost of something. Yeah, this is a cost sheet. This should not be in here. Alright, so let me just move this out for a moment. Because that should really go up in all products. I should have an R&D folder in here. What is this? It's a WebP file. Hopefully this isn't full of horrible things. Nothing opened. Preview opened, but it's not showing anything. I can't open it. I need a hex editor to look at this. How come I don't have a decent hex editor anymore? This butt dune is really distracting me. I keep thinking looking at someone's ass. How do I change this? Change background. Damn it. Photos. This is the Fernando, what? Perido? Oh, this is from someone. This one looks much better. Oh, that's just his name. Okay. What's a nice, productive looking thing? That looks like a thing of breakfast. That's kind of neat. Oh, what's this? An old airplane? Spooky, actually sad. What's this? What's this? Alright, I'm letting myself fall into a rabbit hole. Coffee art will work. That's kind of distracting too. This was not picked with the idea of being useful for a mixed variety of text on it. Let's try this. Oops. This one looks mostly high key. Here's an interesting design thing. They're both using 100% black and 100% white as their label text, which makes it very difficult to find like an intermediate tonal range for the background in the first place. Maybe this one will be better. It's like a legibility thing. Actually, I like this one. A little bit somber. Oh. Okay, I like that one even better. Although this 100% white isn't working for me. Okay. Anyway, what was I doing before I let myself get distracted? Reach the coffee. I was making lists of objects and types of objects and experiences without trying to spill coffee all over myself. So, let's go back to that previous folder I was in. So we have blog posts. We have essays / articles. We have deployable software. We have printable graphic design, or let's just call them productivity forums. These are the kind of things that I would make. We have photos and photo essays. We have these are primary ones. Let's label these. This is a schema, data, or like object type, finished pieces. In terms of experiences, this would be something like a animation or a video. Let's call this video. I suppose a live stream in itself is one. I'll leave that off though. I'll call this a polished video. Along with that is a podcast. These are kinds of things that I make. Let's make a new object type. And the reason why I'm doing this is because once I have the list of things, then I'll be able to see the patterns between them. And be able to like figure out how to graphically represent that. So what's a supporting object type? That's like technical recipes. Oh, another type of finish. This is a kind of a perfected food item. Let's see. Tested recipes. Evaluated resources. An evaluated resource is like something I've tried out. What other supporting object things? There's like prototypes, or test code, or working test code, working prototypes, working test code that can easily be run. Let's see, definitions. Definitions, tech notes, continuity logs, that show decisions. What other supporting things? An assembled collection of useful tools and links, primers, and starter kits. What's something that's design continuities? This one might be a good starting point. Let's see, deployable software. Oh, another thing would be development environments. Setups. Frameworks, jigs, Maybe these are things that help you synthesize stuff. Can I add a description to this? No, it's just a list. So I'm sure other things will come to mind. Did they make it so I could change the color of these cards? Move, subscribe, archive list. I thought there was a way that you could make the list different colors now. These are backgrounds. Filter cards, power-ups, stickers, labels. The labels apply to... yeah. Gear. Tools. So everything one of these things has to be able to, be able to fit, be stored in some way. Let's actually label these things. Can I edit this? What's it doing? Oh, I see. It's a terrible way of doing a label. Wish the background would change color. Takes up too much space. Alright, we'll just keep that. So now we have the types of things we want to store. I forgot what I was going to put there. So we'll just ignore that for now. And let's start making a repository. I guess we'll have to make an information document of some kind. Let's make a text file in here. Repository design strategy. And so one thing I want to do is be able to keep things local to where they're being stored, so I can find things. Let's rename this actually. I should have a convention for this, so README? Is the README? This is the info. Well, a 00 info document will describe what this is. And this is January 15th, 2018. Creating the repository. Figuring out what needs to go in here. Actually, I should call this continuity. That will be my so I'm working out like a kind of a convention. I change the capitalization at the end. Look, I even caught up in the name, so I understood that it started the node, not the file name. That's good. The inode. What does need to go in here? And how to make it so, what's a good text file format? Maybe like this. What does need to go into here? This is a repository. Let's type in blog posts, essays, articles, and just deployable software, productivity, forms, photos, photo essays. Let's break these out into articles, photos, photo essays, polished video, podcasts, food items. Must be other stuff I make. Doesn't seem like a very long list. Alright, so one thing I'm immediately noticing about this is that there is a requirement for design. Shortening these things. Okay, what am I trying to say? There's a requirement for both the in-work requirement has to store in-progress work, work in progress, and finished. I already do that with my other project folders types. Blog posts. I also want to be able to find it. So blog posts, they have several. There's the drafts. Drafts. Has to store supporting objects too. Question: what about shared supporting objects? How to handle versioning. So for example, if I was making a piece of software that used a particular framework in 2015, do I store the framework separately from the project? Do I have a master reference to it? The problem with the master reference approach is that when the master reference updates, it will break older code. And I think one goal is to always have, you can always, or must be able to, that's actually a requirement must be able to rebuild project only from items in the repo folder. Blog post. So for something like a blog post, there's drafts. Final post. I guess these are in the on. This is of type online. What do you call an online system? Digital, online, or a web server. That's the type of repo type. Go to digital online system. Right now it's essays, drafts, final, post to, these are digital, private, or Dropbox, I guess. Digital WordPress. Articles, drafts, final, to digital Dropbox. There's another question that just popped into my head. Question: how to handle subcategorization of object types, e.g. essays have topics, fields of interest, Relevant fields, rather. Fields. Software. I'm gonna get rid of this drafts final thing. Digital online. WordPress. These are digital Dropbox. Digital Dropbox. Hey, sweetie, what are you doing? You got poop on the floor? Oh, good, he's going in. This goes to digital GitHub. Digital Git. Actually, file system Dropbox. System Dropbox. Now some of these also end up going to Git. Farms, digital system. Let me think of my design projects. Okay, photos, digital, Lightroom plus file system. Raw. Or this is LAN plus file system. Oh wait. The cat just made a terrible noise. Oh, that sounds awful. Oh, at least he's in the box instead of pooping on the floor. I think there was just too much stuff around the box and he found uncomfortable going in. Now he feels he has a modicum of privacy, but... Kitty, are you alright? I'm not going to show you on the camera, although I'm tempted to. Sweetie, are you okay? Oh man. He's terrible at cleaning up after himself too. No wait, he's actually scraping stuff. Now he's scratching the side of the litter box, which doesn't do anything. It's a cat, that doesn't do anything. He's always been bad at this. He hasn't figured out that the scraping motion is supposed to cover it up. Oh, man. I can see I got it. Oh. Right, so we're going to have to help him with that. I love my cat, but I am actually... Oh, that was... Oh, shit. Literally. As I was saying, I love my cat. He's an old cat now. I'm actually looking forward to not having cats someday. There's about paper towels. Ugh, it smells. Good Lord. Oh, disgusting. What happened? Ugh. Ugh, now I'm gonna have to throw out this paper. Gross. And I'm so annoyed. If I scrape that up, it's gonna just gross. Maybe that might be this. He refuses to use any other litter box too. I hate this. At least he went in the box, except when he jumped out, he just trailed all this stuff with him. And also, I think the jump angle is a problem. That might help. Get a straight shot out of there. And now it smells bad in here. What the fuck? Alright, what was I doing? I'm still working on this digital file system thing. The video, I'm just writing down where everything is going currently. Let's add where these go. WordPress. Or web. Maybe Medium. Let's call this a website. Articles, or Medium, maybe. What's the difference between an essay and an article? Actually, it's just on the website. Software. I think these are going to be on GitHub. The form is designed, these go on the website. File systems are local, so photos, I still smell. Well, that's the cat next to me cleaning himself. Making that smell. At least you're cleaning yourself. I should change your water now. Oh, it smells so bad. Let's see. I think we can get another bowl of water for him. More water. At least he's also sitting on that cushion and cleaning himself instead of sitting on my couch directly and cleaning himself. Kidley asks, what do you think of cross-posting from your own site to Medium? Something I've been thinking about doing. I don't use Medium currently for things. I do have an account there, but I think Medium has become more of a legitimate outlet I see a lot more interesting articles being posted there. I think in general, you want to have the canonical source of an article be your own website. You want to control it. And then linking to other social media sites is a way of building up the link strength of your own source page. Plus, you don't want to be at the mercy of another social media platform. If you put your content on some like on Facebook and then it goes away or changes the rules from thing, and then you're screwed. And they have your master content there. I think everything is fine so long as they link back to your website, where you can present yourself more in context. So Medium is a good place to discover things, I think. And if they see something, oh, so-and-so wrote this thing, so let's see what else they've done. And then you can present the entirety of what you do, as much as you can, to the interested people. But from your own site to Medium, I wouldn't recommend that. Actually, I'm not clear. Not having used Medium, not exactly sure how it works. I assume that you can create a post on there, and then you can point to your website. But I guess you could do the duplicate content or make a version of it. I don't know if Google still does the duplicate content penalty. If they see the exact same text on one website and another website, then it splits the link juice between them. I don't know all that much about SEO, so I don't know exactly how it affects it. I try not to worry about it. I just try to write good content or make good stuff and just tell people about it. But one of the best things you can do in terms of increasing the magnetism of your content is to make an index of related content. So what you do is, like, let's say you've written a lot about jewelry or something like that. You make a jewelry page, you give it a title jewelry, you write a little bit about what all the stuff on there is like, and then you have a number of links or a number of links to other content there with a description underneath it and a few photos, because that's a legitimately useful reference, and that will tend to capture more Google juice, just because it's put together in an informationally useful manner, rather than just stuffing a page with links, which doesn't work, or writing garbage content on something that doesn't work. All you need, it used to be back in 2006. I don't know how it's like now. The internet's like 10 times or 20 times bigger now. It used to be that to rise above the noise floor on Google search, you needed like 20 good incoming links. So, like, real links with some substance to them. Like either a link from someone else who's doing okay, or like a major site. If you got like maybe one or two of those, plus maybe 15 other incoming links to that same page, that used to be able to raise you up from like obscurity to a higher ranking in the search results. So, like, for example. Like, one thing I sometimes check, and this might not work well for me now because I'm logged in under my, actually, we can use incognito mode. If I look up productivity tools, for example, do I show up on this list? So I show up this is DuckDuckGo. Number 1 is the 10 hottest productivity tools of 2017 for Inc. magazine. The 21, these are all listicles, but the first actual, and these are big sites. I don't know what WordStream is. Is that an ad? It's from 2015. It might have been a lot. These listicles like tend to attract a lot of low quality links. Let's see. This looks like this is a format. This is like what I was talking about. For Mashable, everyone knows what Mashable is. I'm sure like lots of people cross-posted and linked these from all over the place. But I'm number 5. This is my productivity tools page. The thing that's not working well with it is because I have like this gallery thing. This is probably not helping with semantic HTML guidelines, so I need to redo this. But it's the kind of page that like you look at it and people want to save and link to it, I think. How does this look on Google? Yeah. Yeah, you had like a duplicate content penalty. So I think that if you wrote a new version of the article on Medium, maybe a shorter summary version, although Medium is I think okay for long form content. I don't know, there must be some way of doing it. Hey, what kind of stuff do you write about? So if I'm on Google, let's see where I might not be on the first page for this. This is an ad. Here's another 21 best. Here's 24 life-changing tools, which is on Medium. 9 productivity tools maximize, 7 productivity tools, best productivity apps and things. Yeah, I'm still down here. I'm on the number 8. Still. That's not bad, you know. But that's a keyword I've been working on. Oh, it's Vicky. How come I keep it? Hey Vicky, sorry I didn't recognize you for the longest time. I had this mental image in my head of like someone who was wearing like a beanie cap for some reason. Although I don't know if you even wear beanie caps. So anyway, so you could do something like that. You probably know more about this stuff than I do, actually. Are you using Medium? Let's see, digital... Video, digital, this is the file system. Where am I? I'm keeping this in a video, no backup. And this goes to YouTube. I'm taking a Medium break. Do you a Medium break in terms of reading from Medium or using it to deploy? Just use it to post things or whenever. Oh, that's great. I like that. When I started blogging in 2004, I didn't know what I was going to write about, and so I just made a website in WordPress and kind of fussed with the theme for a while, but the one thing that I wanted to get out of WordPress was the ability to just just to put things on the web. No one was reading anything then either, so the stakes weren't very high into me. But the one thing I did is I learned how to write a image plugin because I hated all the image plugins that were available. I'm still using it actually. I thought I was going to write all these white papers about how to properly design interactive applications and tools and tips and do experiments and share all that sort of stuff. But I ended up just writing about stuff that caught my eye. Like I saw these cool goggles at Restoration Hardware and I bought them and here's a picture of them. Or like there's a new kind of curry I haven't tried before. Here's a picture of it. I tasted it. I liked it. Or I was looking up, I found an artist that I used to really like when I was in high school, and they're still making stuff. And then here's some stuff about, here's the reason why I liked them when I was a kid, and here's the reason why I like them now. And it's great that they're doing this, and so and so. And that's what he ended up doing all the time. It turned out that what I liked about WordPress or having a website wasn't so much that I was making a resource. Like I'm thinking more about making a resource now, because this is sort of like an adult thing to do. But I found that I liked being the author of my own thoughts and being able to say what I thought, not having to represent other people or try to make other people sound good. I don't mind helping other people sound good if they are good, but I have a big problem with helping people trick people into thinking that they're better than they really are. Because I'm horribly judgmental. I'm a terrible person. So I will help people express who they are. That's as far as I'll go. I won't help people express who they want to be or who they want to trick people into being. And so what I liked being about an author is like I would just write about what I thought, and at the time I didn't have anything to lose. I just wanted to say what I liked, and it turned out that some people liked it, some people didn't. and I just focus on that part. And so I think I was also lucky because, you know, like this is a double-edged sword. I would write long form stuff and I would not do a lot of proof editing. So it end up coming kind of like this sort of raw conversational style to it. And because it was long form, the trolls tended to not read it because it was too much to read. And because it was too long to read, and because it took a while to get going, they could not form an easy opinion about what I just said. Or maybe it was they couldn't even understand what I was talking about. And so they just go somewhere else which was easier to click on. So I didn't get a whole lot of bad comments and stuff like that. Every once in a while, I would get someone posting something that was maybe negative or maybe opinionated in some way that was unkind, but my policy generally toward people who are posting on a public forum that I manage is to let that stand and then to address it and just say, you know, not say you're wrong, you suck, but I can see your point, and here's what I think about it. And I think this is what you're saying. I may be wrong about this, but perhaps you can expand on it and help me understand, because I think I get where you're coming from. And so that seems to have worked out well. There's been only really one or two incidences over, like, I would say the past, whenever 2004 was, past 14 years or so, where people have actually, like, you know, been uppity in my comment section. But then again, the kind of content stuff, the stuff I write about, tends not to be a general audience anyway. It tends to be people who are interested in thinking about process. I didn't know that at the time that was what I was doing. But this is not video, no backup. This is digital media. At the time, this is what the pattern ended up being. So figuring out a way of doing more polished work, which is the whole point of this personal productivity system, is what I'm doing. Digital media. Is there a shorter term than digital media? New media? Oh, that sounds so 1992, though. Trying to make these short acronyms. Let's go to the website. Food items. Where do I store food items? Cat, you smell bad. Smell so bad. I'm sorry you smell bad. Ugh, you stink. Smelly, smelly cat. Where's Sweetie? I seem to be... am I shrinking? I need to get this chair fixed. Food items. This is a combination of things. It's occurring to me that I have like a series of interconnected storage areas. There's repositories by media. Food items go into I'm not sure how I'm going to store this. This is a collection. I think food items, these are recipes. This is what's the term? Aggregate? An aggregate collection? Is that redundant? Compound. I'll just put various. These are articles plus photos. Okay, so these are finished works. There's also works in progress. Projects. In fact, food items, this would be a form of blog post. Projects. These are various as well. This difference between a work in progress project and a finished work is that these have continuities, logs. These have continuity logs, unlike finished works. These have their own finished works. Finished works, these are completed. Well, you know, I think I'm blurring the lines between work in progress, and finished, or drafts and finished. I'm a little confused here. Let's ask as a question. Is there a difference between works in progress and finished that needs to be tracked? I don't think so. These really just go into folders. What I remember trying to do, I'm trying to figure out just other research. Works. Let's call these works. Let's see. Project. There are what if projects too. What would I call those? Slapdash things? I'm thinking about things that are random, like what would happen if I put peanut butter in my coffee? Experiments. Oops. So it works. A combination of draft work and finished work. And so let's see what kind of works I'm producing. Research is this is a collection of text files, data, links. A project, any related collection of effort, of logged efforts and discovery, experiments, logged effort toward finished an object experience. An experiment is any related collection of logged effort toward discovery. And let's see if I can do this. So this is research is any collection of any collection of data plus observations on a topic. Okay. Okay, so next, how do we code all this stuff? I don't know if peanut butter is keto. I'm not really on the keto diet right now. How do we code and classify? Let's just say, how do we classify How do we classify... Is peanut butter keto? It's so distractible. Peanut butter keto. I bet the sugar-free peanut butter would be alright. Oh, there is keto peanut butter. You can even buy it. What's a... I don't know anything about keto. Did you know it takes 540 ppm to make a 12-ounce jar of peanut butter? I did not know that. Peanut butter is it's a protein source that's low in carbs and high in fat. However, quick history of peanut butter. It's fairly low in carbs, a high amount of fat and fiber. Makes it less. Its glycemic load is 0. That's fantastic. High in fat, moderate amount of protein, stuffed with legumes are not considered healthy. Legumes are things like beans, right? What's an aflatoxin? That sounds terrible. What is it? It's a chemical produced by fungus. Huh. Sorry, okay, they're saying that it has so many calories in it. It doesn't help with calorie control. You can't just stuff your face with it, apparently. But I guess you can just eat a little bit of it. I'm not sure about this aflatonic thing. The anti-legume folk are in the minority. I really don't know about too much about keto. I should probably find out who the cool keto blogger is. What I think I should be doing now, or what I'll try next in my next diet round, will be try to find calorie restriction and just avoiding carbs again. Right now I've just been eating carbs because it's so damn cold. Aflatoxin. Is aflatoxin bullshit? Let's see if anyone is. Holy kale? That's a great name for a site. The peanut butter scare lives on. Beyond broccoli. Safety of peanut butter due to aflatoxin. Been digging naturally occurring toxin, liver research shows eating a regular diet that includes carrots, can decrease the carcinogenic effects. Good news for ants and the log fans. Celery stuffed with peanut butter and raisins. I don't know. That's major brands. Fresh peanut butter. Yeah, so it's a kind of mold that grows on grains and things, probably from storage. Huh. This is not a conducive. Oh, beans have toxins in them? I kind of like cooking beans. It feels like magic. You end up with these hard things. That's true, but dry beans are much more expensive than I thought they were. That's the weird thing. So let's see. I want to see, how do we classify the types of repos? Well, let's see. We have. Is that what I want to do? There's some other finished works I'm leaving out here. Furniture, printed goods, or let's see, fabricated. This is physical. And the shoebox filing. Plus digital. So file system as I'm going to call digital I'm going to call this a text store. Articles will also go into a text store. Software will go into digital Git. Forms will be, this is not exactly a media store. This is like a, things that you use, stuff that's the source code. These are sources. It's different than software because software tends not to have a lot of large binary assets. I think I'll call this a glob store. Or blob store rather, not glob. Photos actually will go into the blob store. Lightroom blob store. Blob being a large binary object. And the reason why I'm making a distinction between the type of asset. Oh yeah, magic beans. There's so many kinds of beans too. It's amazing. And no matter, each kind of bean probably has its own kind of use. I mean, each bean has its ultimate destiny. Like, if you had kidney beans, what's the most amazing use of kidney beans? The kind of use that would just, the kidney bean would be the ultimate bean to use in the creation of this dish. And what are black-eyed peas good for too? You know, that kind of stuff. Lightroom blob store. Oh, these photos, these will go onto probably Flickr website. Podcasts. This is the this is another blob store. Podcasts also go into a blob store. Any form of blog post. Digital text. Let's see. This is a CMS. Food items, form of blog post. Physical shoebox file. Print goods, physical. What does it call this? This is the stock room. Okay, so I've just classified the kinds of repos. From the list above, I have several kinds of repos. Digital CMS, digital text store, digital Git, digital blob store, digital Lightroom blob store, digital actually let me reverse this. Instead of calling it blob store Lightroom or Lightroom blob store, I'm going to go blob store Lightroom. These all have different requirements. Audio. Yeah, that would work. Blob store. Because I really want to know the backup strategies for this. You have physical shoebox. We have physical stockroom. Okay, so those are the types of repos that I have. So with specific backup strategies. Wouldn't Iron Chef have done that with the, I guess, like, what is the ultimate use of this ingredient for? The ultimate recipe that expresses the nature of the ingredient. Yes, that's exactly what Iron Chef would do. Have you heard of an anime called Shokugeki no Soma? It's kind of like an anime version of Iron Chef. Shokugeki no Soma. Food Wars. This. I guess it's a manga. The one downside about this, or one of the downsides about this anime, is that like a lot of anime, or a lot of like it has its own elements of kind of crawly fan service. But like I like the part of it where they're talking about like this guy who wants to maybe become like a chef as good as his father, and so you learn more about his father, and his father apparently was like originally like a super capable student at this one academy that they go to, this culinary school, and they're all trying to master all these dishes, and they have these battles between each other when they're trying to settle disagreements. Those are the things called shokugekis. I've never read the manga, so it's I wouldn't know. Maybe you can find some reviews about it. And so like in the first episode of this, if you watch it, and I think they have this on Netflix, if you have Netflix access. There's also kissanime.ru, which is a less, it's a shadowy service, which you should watch on a computer that you don't want to be infected by viruses. I think it's fairly safe, but you see a lot of pop-up ads on it. I don't trust it. You can watch it in a VM or on a computer you don't care about. You can definitely watch it there on kissanime.ru. The first episode, there's these people who are trying to like shut down what's his name, Yukihira's father's diner. His dad disappeared and is traveling the world doing something. Is Yukihira his first name or last name? I don't know. I guess it's Soma. So anyway, they're trying to like buy his thing, and he challenges them that if he can make a dish for them that impresses them in some way, then they have to go away and stop trying to buy them out. And so like he makes some pork dish, and they do this underhanded stuff that they hire thugs to the people who want to buy the diner. They hire thugs to try and steals all the meat ingredients and then challenges them to make something. But he pulls something out of his hat. And it's amazing, and then they show the reaction of like the people who are tasting it, have kind of orgasmic reactions to it, and their clothes explode and disappear because it's so good. It's a little creepy, but it's, I think, fairly typical for anime. It's not really bad as some of them. But yeah, it's just a little crawly. I like the idea of like being with a whole bunch of people who are trying to perfect dishes or bring out like the best qualities of an ingredient to showcase it. And plus I learn a lot about food when I'm watching this. It's kind of like this other anime, which is less fan-serving, called, what's it called? Yakitate Japan. I don't know if there's another name for it. This one. The manga for this is pretty good. I have seen this, the English translated one. Maybe you can get it in the library. So this is, again, another food quest. He wants to create a national bread for Japan. Because Japan doesn't have its own bread culture like France or Italy or, or German. But what is a bread that is that embodies the spirit of Japan itself? And then of course there's all these competitions and like this battle against like these big giant bakeries that are trying to crush all the competition and stuff like that. What's the name of this type of manga? It's like shoujo, or I don't remember. This I liked a lot, and there's like a weird characters in it too. Like there's this like big lion that actually looks. My cat looks a lot like him. That is like the king of Monaco, but he looks like a lion. And he has this big baking competition. Oh, here the cat is. It's crawling over me like some sort of bug. Ah. Cat, you're on camera. Look. Why are you wet? I'm taking a cat break. I'm making some progress on this storage thing. Now, the reason why I'm working on this store, or defining the kinds of repos, is because I'm going to systematize my file system, and these become the 6 different kinds of repos that I'm keeping. And these are the private repos, and then there's the public distribution. Digital CMS. This is a WordPress website. And there's also a deploy version, a public, distribution version. Digital text store. What is a text store? There's 2 ways I can do this. There's these could be a Quiver notebook, Quiver app, saving to text store directory. Digital Git. This is my dev folder. Let's call it home. Home. Digital blob store. This would be home. I thought I saw something just pop up here. Maybe I imagined it. Let's see. The digital blob store is home blob. What's another way of saying blob store? Blobs are binary large objects. Well, actually, this would be in Dropbox text store. This would be in home blobs. I'm trying to think of how legible blob would be. That's another way of saying binary objects. Tend to keep. Actually, I might have split those up into multiple. Digital blob stores. Bin. Bin has a connotation with programs. What's another way of in video games, what we call them, instead of source control, we have asset management. Do I want to call these assets? Not really. I guess could call home digital. Star folder. The physical shoebox is basement. Basement main. Basement aux or basement side. That's where these things go. The digital blob store. We have Lightroom, video, audio. I guess I need codes for these. DCMS, dtext, dgit, dbin. That's not so bad. That's boxes. Stock. I wonder if those codes are long enough. I guess I'm trying to think of an IKEA style, like aisle 6, bin 27 style of coding. So they get dbin, video dbin. Within each store, there are a number of common folders. This is based on my existing system. I think I actually wrote this down someplace. Let's see, docs, DS, cowork. You know, beep, 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 beep. I better look at you. You're just sitting on me being smelly. You're such a smelly kitty. Yes, you're very smelly. Very smelly. It's sinking again. You're so smelly. Ooh, you are smelly. Ugh. I'm gonna wash these pants. Smelly, 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 smelly. Are you okay? You feeling alright? Yeah. My common folders, so I'm saying that I have, there is the drafts. These are named. And then we have, I usually have I have an export folder. These are, I also have a packages folder. Now I'm going to describe exports. These are like named 2018 MDD description. These are intermediate. These are files that are used elsewhere in another project, used by another project. These are exported files. You know, for example, processed images. And then for packages, these are self-contained ready to use. Zip archives. I usually have sources. Sometimes I have sources. Master files. intermediate files, working files have DRO1 that's set appended. Drafts. Actually, I usually don't have a drafts folder. Named YYYY description zip. In YYYY desk format. Sources. Sometimes I have meetings for things like this. Or let's see. What I need to add is some logs for this now. 0, 0, or how am I going to do this? Let's shorten these descriptions a bit. Meow. Stinky cat. Meow. Ah. He's so smelly. Why are you so smelly? Why are you so smelly? Oh. Why are you so smelly? Starting to lose my focus a bit. I might have to take a break. Been going 2.5 hours. It is 6:45 p.m. Maybe I'll make some dinner. So I wonder, if I go look back at what was my list of things to do for today. I spent more than 15 minutes on this. So I was going to stream What's Up Dave with increased presence, review productivity plan live. I did do that actually. I guess I'm not finishing the productivity system today, maybe. Oops. I didn't do this 15 minutes on the stuck project yet. Alright, so what I want to do is at least get this folder. Let's make a stab at this folder process. Then I need to actually jump on the assembly. Actually, I'll say I haven't done this yet. I'm still technically working on the personal productivity project. Oh, cat, you smell so bad. Did you get something on me? Let's inspect the cat. Oh. Oh. Why do you smell so bad? Why do you smell so bad, huh? Oh, you stink. I'm gonna see if will you let me wipe you off a bit? Oh. Something stuck to you. I'm gonna have to I might have to take you to the vet for get your claws clipped and have them help me get that thing off your butt, because you're not gonna let me do it. No, not at all. Alright, so I am going to call this right after I finish making this folder based on this continuity doc. Let me add this to this. Continuity. Description. This is sort of a stream of consciousness working folder. Let's make this a log. What do they call this? What was I calling before for the what got done log? Where did I put that? That would be in the document I was looking at. Here? What did they call it again? Balance accrual bucket log private. No, I put it up here, didn't I? Finish object experience, supporting process, components. I thought I had more than this. No, I didn't copy it. Did I copy it at the bottom of here? Yeah, this is now obsolete. Let's get rid of it. Doink. So we have a continued journal here. Name 00 continuity. Text. The completed named complete. No, okay. Phew, cat smells. So I'll make another text file in here. New file, text file, 01, complete, or I don't like the way complete sounds because that sounds completionist. Really what I want it to sound like is like it's something that's ongoing, or let's see, on HTTP, on the Apache web server, they have a regular log and a process log. Maybe this is key. Processed, journaled, complete, highlights. And why is that sorting in the wrong order now? 01 continuity. It's not monospaced font. It's gonna drive me nuts. I guess maybe. I want to have the first few characters be the same, exact same width, because I'm anal retentive. I guess that could work. I'm not a big fan of the underscore. 00, I'll use the dash. I don't like using underscores because they get hidden when you make them links. Alright, so we'll do that. Continuity. So these should sort high up on the list. That's why I'm prepending the zeros in front of them. Continuity highlight, so I'll know what to look for. Did I put continuity wrong? Content? No, I didn't. It's okay. I wish I could make that it's more important. The other way I could do this is just use the @ sign. But I still can't use numbers. 0, 1 continuity, 0, 0 highlights. These are height lights. An edited version of what got done, what decisions were made, drawn from continuity. Kind of like in reverse chronological. In forward chronology. Sources, let's see, prototypes. Throw away tests, etc. Tests. Small versions of things. Limited tests. Docs. Documentation. Oops, documentation. For how to make the project work. I think we need a deliverables one. Oh, what happened? The highlights document is a distilled executive summary for the project manager log, describing what progress has been made. Now I wonder if I have too many output files. This file lists the useful stuff that's in this project folder and where it was used and how it what else am I saying goes in here? New folder. This is home. And then here we'll have like digital. We also have digital. What's another word for widgetal? Widgetal. Bin words. Writing, I guess. Also, I wonder if the reason I have a separate blob store is because I don't want that to be in Dropbox. Maybe I need to soft link it. Home. How would I do that? This should be in Dropbox. This maybe not. Let's call this media. And then we want one called so medias are things like video, digital video, media, or AV. Media. I think we also have a repo for websites. This is software, media, writing. Some things are backed up and what is not backed up. Media is not backed up. Dev is, this is backed up through GitHub. Both of these are backed up through GitHub. Media, I should call this AV. Where's my web sites? Do I really want to have a websites folder? Yes, I think that's an important output. Where's websites? Again, a distinction between deployed site or work in progress and finished work. And what am I missing? So we have digital media, Lightroom. Should call this media after all. So the media is now backed up. So how do I introduce, what things are backed up? Words are backed up. This should be on Dropbox. This is like a link. Dropbox. Now where does my design work go? Where did I put it? So forms, Bob Store website? No, that's not right. Oh, this is a deployment. So things that are time-based media. What's the term? Terms for that? Sequential? No, that's not right. It's podcasts and video are both streaming. Deployed media? What's another term for media that is of like audio video? Media A, I think I'll call it media AV. Media-AV. And then for design work, I'll make another design folder. Design, development, media AV, websites, words. Do I like the words? think I like writing better. Or do I? I think there's a different, there's also, these are, I'm wondering if the writing points to Dropbox. None of the other ones. Well, this one points to Dropbox. This one points to Dropbox. But these maybe are just projects. And ultimately, because really there's just different backup strategies for these. So instead of calling this home, I'm going to call this store. Storage. And these will be linked. So let's make a new folder here, and we'll call this a this is like a project template, or yeah, let's just call it project template for now. And it has these 3 files in it. Or should I call this an archive? Or working? Let's call it work store. And then I think maybe there is another deploy collections. Work store gallery? Work gallery? Work repos? What's another word for repository? Work. Work data. This can be used the whole packages. Packages, info, data. Let's just call this data. Packages. Call this data store. Dev, media, AV, projects, websites. Let's make new folder. Oops, not new folder. New file, text file. 00 info. The dev folder is software. And is backed up via Git and GitHub. Oops. Media AV. The Media AV folder is for binary heavy projects like video capture, streaming, it's podcasts. It is backed up manually to your local disk. And also the network text storage. Projects folder points to Dropbox. It's a symbolic link. The websites folder is are for website related stuff. Files and site folders. It's backed up through Git and GitHub. At least individually they are. Each project folder actually this might be in Dropbox. What is stored to which the site folder is optionally what is stored on Dropbox. Oh wait, I can't do that. Shit. HTML source files. Which website folder? Do not store image creation sources here. And they're binaries. This is the raw website. Is that really what I want to do? It's kind of a tricky thing. It's in our project templates. What is project template folder is an idealized folder that is folder structure. Each data store type follows this format more or less. So what kind of things we have in here? We have exports, we have packages, we have sources, we have docs, packages, oops. I should just make a project folder, or let's call it project info. A collaboration. Let's call this project dog. Well, let's call it admin. The admin folder is for project management related information, continuity of meetings and decisions, supporting documentation, supporting planning, docs, docs. The docs folder is official documentation for the project. Docs. Sources. The sources folder is for drafts, release candidates, and final / master files used to build the final output. Working, let's see, there's some format stuff to this, like this. Name -dr01 draft release 1. Name RSC01 release candidate 1 for client approval. Name master. What's my version coding? Release version. I wonder if I should prepend these. V01. I don't usually do this, but this might be a good practice. Race version. Release file. Based on release candidate. Why is this not? Oh, this folder's on top mode. I guess that's fine. Scrivener related for everything. Scrivener is great. It is just as capable. Is okay, so am I done with this for now? My admin folder. I want to make some particular things that go in here too. I'll start that off in a different stream. Okay, so I think I'm done for now. What I've done is worked on my asset management setup. So this is moving along, so I can start to implement that this week. It's converting the old system to the new system and be able to cross-deploy it. That's another requirement. It's cross-platform, multiple installation of stores. It's required. Okay. I keep sinking. Why is that? Is this thing's rising, or am I sinking? I think I'm sinking. Or is it the camera that's pointed funny? All right, so that's for now. Thanks for watching. I know this is a long What's Up Dave, but I just wanted to share some process and make some noise and just sort of be present with people. So thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Noink.